If you are a chess player or you're interested in the world of chess, you probably know Stockfish, the best chess engine in the world, which peaks at over 3600 ELO, knowing that the best human beings hardly reach 2800 ELO. When a chess player plays on a site, they have the possibility at the end to get a summary and an analysis, generally from Stockfish, on the moves they made to be able to learn where their mistakes are and where to improve. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you that Stockfish's analysis is not always reliable, and that on top of that, you are capable, you as a human being, of finding better moves than it. And for that, you don't need to be Magnus Carlsen or a top grandmaster. You can be a simple club player like me, 1800 ELO, and find better moves than Stockfish. And I'm going to prove it to you with one of my games. So you see here a position that I obtained during a tournament in classical time control. So I have a better position overall with an extra pawn. Black has just played queen a6, proposing the exchange of queens. And so my thinking is the following. So I actually have an extra pawn, a better position. He has a backward pawn on b6 that I could try to exploit in the endgame. So it could be interesting indeed to exchange the queens. But on the other hand, I see that his king is quite isolated on the king side. There are very few pieces that can come to protect it. The queen is a little bit set aside. And so I tell myself that it might be more interesting to refuse the exchange and go to e3. Stockfish, for its part, proposes queen b5. So it is not against the exchange, but it would like the exchange to take place on the b5 square. So to leave that possibility open. But in any case, it thinks that it will be a better move. Its analysis at plus 2.90 leaves it quite confident to convert this endgame, which is perhaps not the case for me in the endgame. So I have some doubts about my abilities in the endgame. In any case, my decision is to play queen e3 during the tournament. I see that if I play queen e3, he could play queen c4, attacking the a4 pawn, but that I could protect it. I can also start to attack the opposing king, and so that it can be very dangerous for him. So I play that move, and what happens? Stockfish changes its mind and gives me plus 3.08, indicating that indeed queen e3 was the best move in the position compared to plus 2.90. You are going to tell me that it is perhaps not a huge gap. That is why I have a second example just a few moves later. But in any case, there you go. Simply with a human analysis of a few moves, we arrive at a conclusion and find the best move, even though I am a simple club player at the 1800 ELO level. Now, I'm going to show you the next move. This is where I start to attack. So here the bishop threatens. I'm threatening bishop takes h6 to attack the king. The best move according to Stockfish is king f8. My opponent finds it. And here Stockfish suggests queen f3. So that's a move I obviously considered. On queen f3, I see that he can play knight d8. Knight d8 will protect the f7 pawn. And so I don't really see the continuation in that line of play. However, I have a principle. Once a king is in the center and my pieces are well positioned, it can be quite interesting to open up the center. So naturally, I'm thinking of the move d4, d5. So pushing the pawn. I see fairly quickly that I'm going to lose a pawn, but on the other hand, I'll completely open up the position. I can then play e6 and increase the pressure on the f7 pawn, which is pinned. And so that seems quite advantageous for me. And so I decide to play it, and there we go. Stockfish finds that the move is brilliant. It gives plus 5.19 to that move. So it changes its stance from considering queen f3 the best move and recognizes that d5 is a much better move than queen f3 in this position. So those are two examples where simple analysis, a bit of intuition, and some known middle game principles allowed me to find better moves than Stockfish in a given position. And the same goes for you. You can do exactly the same thing in your own positions and your own games. So be very careful with Stockfish's analyses. In fact, It was this game that convinced me to give up free analyses for my long-time control tournament games. So from that point on, I looked for alternatives, including analysis on my own computer. The problem was that it took 3 days to analyze to a depth of 38. So I quickly gave up. It wasn't very practical. I tried the cloud services that were offered, even those promoted by grandmasters, and unfortunately, they were either unreliable or overpriced. And so, being a computer scientist myself, I decided to develop my own game analysis system called lilychess.com, which now analyzes all my games to a depth of 40. I can do this thanks to the cloud and parallelization, meaning each move is analyzed independently on a different machine, taking less than 10 minutes per move, so 10 minutes for the whole game if everything is parallelized. So it's really interesting. So you get the analysis results of your game quite quickly. In fact, even while the analysis is loading, you can start looking at the first few moves. Actually, Lichess works with an analysis database. Analyses that have already been done on a position are retrieved immediately. You don't pay any credits for those analyses. Actually, the credit system is very simple. One credit is one position analysis, roughly. And that allows you to analyze your serious games like that. Well, of course, if you have blitz or bullet games, or if your level isn't very high, then you can just stick with the free analyses. But once you start competing, you realize the importance of analyzing your own games. A move that you've spent minutes, several thoughtful minutes, really considering before you play. Don't let a low depth stockfish label it as an inaccuracy when in fact it could actually be a brilliant move. So I highly recommend you try out this platform. To let you test it out, I've put a link in the description of this video, a link to the game I'm presenting. That way you can evaluate the platform's analysis dashboard, and you should know that I've added a number of features that also seemed essential to me for a site, and which could be very useful to you too. So there's the possibility to create your own opening repertoire. You have the possibility to create your own sets of puzzles. You also have access to a database of over 3 million master games to prepare yourself on openings too. You also have very advanced features like all the novelties that are being played. So this database is updated with the new games of the week every week at the start of the week. So you have the novelties of each game by opening if you wish. You have the possibility to train with bots. Well, and a whole bunch of features, also features for coaches. So I highly encourage you. And to make testing easier for you too, I'm providing an affiliate link in the description that lets you test the platform with a 10% discount on the first month's subscription. There, I really encourage you to test this and let me know if you see other features I could add, or if there are features that don't work as you would have liked. So there, it's a project open to everyone. Everyone can participate to improve it. Your analyses benefit everyone because they later become free in your positions. So that means that for almost all openings, you don't have to pay credits for opening analyses in general. There you go. See you very soon. I hope you enjoyed it.